Okay, you ready
Hello, welcome to
hold on?
Starpoint, a podcast about Go.
Yes. Okay. That's my line. Okay. Well, we can start.
Okay,
Are you ready?
I think so.
Well, you can say it again. You want to say it again?
Wait, what do I say? That same line?
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you introduce yourself?
You listen to the show.
I know. No. Hi, welcome to Starpoint, a podcast about Go.
Okay, that was close enough. You're listening to Starpoint, the show about Go for Go fans away from the board. You remember?
Wait. Say it again.
You're
I'm
listening
nervous.
to Starpoint, the show about Go for Go fans away from the board. I'm not going to make you say it again.
Okay, you're listening to Starpoint, the show about Go for Go fans away from the board.
That was great.
Yay.
This, everyone, is my fiancée, who I'm going to get married to in how long?
1 month.
Almost to the day at the time of this recording. And her name is, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Kim.
Her name is Kim. And she has been very supportive of my Go hobby. I've told you guys all about all the gifts that she's given me. And I decided today, or I think she volunteered to talk to me, even though she's really nervous right now about Go. And I thought maybe we can just kind of start off by asking you if you know how to play. Do you know how to play? If we brought out a Go board, would you know what to do?
I think so. I would know the first step of what to do.
Okay, how about this? Let's say that you're teaching one of your family members or friends how to play this game. How would you explain it?
I think it's like if they asked me like what's the goal of the game.
No. Let's say that I'm somebody that you know, and I'm like, oh, what is that game? What would you say?
That's Go.
Oh, how do you play? How does it work?
I don't know very much about it, but basically you have to capture the other color stones.
Oh, so it's like chess?
I feel like it's sort of similar to chess in that you have to be like strategic about how you play, but it's also very different.
Okay. Can you explain like the main rule that you know? You know, I think you might know what I'm talking about.
What do you mean by the main rule?
Like if you're trying to teach like a younger one how to play, the first thing you might want to tell them is that you take turns.
You take turns like placing a stone on the board. Like, and then I think the first thing you want to do is you want to, I forgot how it's called, but you basically want to like, not the very edges, but like place your stones on like the corners.
I think you're trying to talk about liberties.
Yes. But also, like, you know, when you first start playing, like
okay. Sorry, you're talking about opening theory.
The opening, yes.
Okay, so you're explaining how to start the game, which is like in the corners. You know that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I would also probably explain to them how to properly pick up a stone and place it on the board.
And how's that?
What do you mean? How's that?
Wait, what do you mean by properly? Like, what do you do?
Like you don't just pick it up with like your thumb and your index finger.
Uh-huh.
Like kind of grab it between your like index finger and your middle finger.
It's so interesting that you're focusing on this stuff first. It's because, or did you feel humiliated when I told you were doing it wrong?
No, but I just feel like it's something that's very like, what's the word? Like particular to this game. Like you don't have a lot of games where that's like something that you have to do, where you have to pick up pieces a certain way.
That's a good point. Like you never play checkers and they're like, oh, you're holding the checkers pieces wrong, or like yeah, that's a good point. I don't see any other game like that. But like I feel like when I play and I see somebody hold it wrong, it just looks really silly and inefficient. And then actually eventually it becomes clumsy. Like when you start playing and you capture lots of stones and you put stones in like little positions that are kind of squeezed tight with like a lot of other stones around the area. If you use your thumb and your index like you would naturally do, it makes it actually kind of hard to place the stone accurately. And that's another reason why people do that. And you're right about it like not being a thing for like board games, I guess. I don't know if any other board game has like you should hold it this way. But it kind of reminds me of like certain things in sports where you should hold things a certain way in sports because it just works out better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a basketball.
Yeah, or like a tennis racket or a golf club. Like I know there's like people who like hold golf clubs differently, and like in a way that you're not supposed to hold it. And then people, it's also like piano or like instruments. Like if I'm teaching you how to play piano, like I have this friend who I tried to teach how to play piano, and he didn't use his thumbs. Like you know how like a pianist uses their thumbs, like, but then he just kind of went like this. He just kind of like pulled out like a couple of his fingers, like a T-Rex. I told him he looked like a T-Rex. And then I was telling him like, no, that's not how you do it. You curve your fingers and you like put even pressure on all your fingers throughout the keys. And he didn't really understand why I was making him do it that way. But there's a reason, and you would only understand later on. Okay, you were in the middle of describing how to play this game. And so you started off by saying you start with the corners and this is how you hold a stone. What's the next thing you would describe?
I think like the first thing I would probably tell someone before they even knew what the game was would be like try to explain what I think is the game, not so much how to play it, but like describe it. Oh, it's like this game's about capturing like territory by taking your opponent's stones.
That's kind of true. And actually, to the beginner, that's like basically all it's about. So it's not wrong.
You want to create eyes.
Yeah.
I don't really know the order that I would like explain it to someone.
It's how
I feel like it's. I think with me, like when you were sort of teaching me, like it was kind of. It came about naturally as we were like playing on the board. So I think not having it in front of me is kind of hard to like.
Yeah, that's what makes this podcast hard. You don't have a board in front of you and you can't show people with If you had a board in front of you, you could literally just like throw out the stones and be like, okay, you got to go like this. And then you just put in the stones and you show them how it works. But it is tricky teaching someone just through talking. And when I play board games, I tell people like I'm the one who always gets stuck reading the rules and I have to explain the game. And whenever I explain the game to people, I start just talking about the rules. And I was like, oh, okay, so there's going to be 5 phases in this game. First phase, you draw a card. Second phase, you roll this and then you move 3. Whenever I do that and then I finish explaining that, everyone's just like, huh? And like they don't retain any knowledge
until we start the game.
Yeah, so you have to kind of like start. But then it's a little bit like they get angry at me because once we start, it's like I know the rules already. So they will see that as an advantage. Yeah. So it's a lose-lose situation for me.
Sometimes we're like, well, why didn't you tell us this in the first place?
Yeah, because I did tell you guys and you didn't. It went in one ear and not the other. Okay, I understand it's hard to explain like capturing. But do you know how it works once you've like how the game ends? Do you remember how it ends?
Not at all. I think we tried like playing like full games. Maybe not full games. Maybe we probably cut them shorter for me.
No, we definitely played full games on the 9x9.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't think I think for me it was always like I never knew when it ended.
Yeah, that's the hard part for beginners. Okay, what's the goal of the game? You know? No, just say I don't know if you don't know.
I don't know.
You don't know.
To capture stones.
Okay, so I thought that's what you would say. It's not actually to capture stones. You can win without capturing any stones. Do you remember the first time I went to a tournament? You went to the tournament with me. Mm-hmm. And then after the tournament, we went to Bubba Gump.
Yes.
And at Bubba Gump, we played 9x9 Go on my phone. And you were complaining because I wasn't letting you win. But I was letting you win. I was only capturing like a tiny part of the board. But you were mad about me capturing that part of the board, and you were about to give up. And I told you, like, no, keep playing. And we played the rest of the game, and then it told you that you won. Do you remember?
I remember now, yeah. I remember. And
you have no idea how that happened, huh?
No, not at all. I thought you were winning.
Okay. So, you know that when you capture stones, you basically get points, right?
Yes.
So that's why you want to do that. But do you know how else you can get points?
Is it by creating eyes?
Sort of.
No?
It's a related concept. So eyes are more important as a concept for living, for making sure your stones don't die. But eyes are actually also points of territory. And territory is what I was getting at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so when you have empty spaces inside of your stones, that's called territory. And so at the end of the game, when all the stones that you guys need to play have been played, you count up like, oh, how many empty spaces have I surrounded with my black stones? And how many empty spaces have you surrounded with your white stones? And then you add it all up, including the captures. And then that's the score. So that makes sense, right?
Yes. But I remember, sorry, I might be deviating a little. I remember another way that people would count stones, like at your tournament, would be that they would like shift all of them to like side of the board. Yeah.
You don't know what they were doing?
No, not at all.
Okay, so they weren't doing anything super fancy. Actually, it's actually quite simple. It takes a little practice to do. I'm not good at it, but so now you understand. Like once the game is finished, you can just count all the empty spaces for each color, right?
Yes.
and the captured stones. So the first thing you do with the captured stones, instead of counting them, is you use them to fill up your own territory. So let's say that you're black and I'm white, and you captured like 10 of my black stones. She's like smirking because that makes her happy. So let's say you capture 10 of my black stones, and at the end of the game, I have all these territories, and then you have this bowl full of like my 10 captured black stones. And remember, I'm counting my territory points on my board. So in order to count the black stones for you, all I have to do is take those black stones and fill my own territory with them, subtracting from my score. You following?
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And then you do the same with your white stones, and then you just fill it up. So that's the first step, to just make it easy. You don't have to count like the stones in addition to the points. You just subtract the points. But once you do that, obviously you can just point at each point and just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and count like that. But that's very tedious, and it can be, you can lose track easily. So what they do is they just shift the stones around. And once you start doing it, you kind of understand how it works and like what you need to do to do this accurately. But you just shift the stones around into groups like you would normally do. And like if you were counting coins or something, right? You would stack them in groups of 10 or 20, right? So it's the same thing. So you just make little boxes that are groups of, I would say like 10, 30, 50, or like depending on the arrangement of the board. That's what they're doing. They're just shifting the stones around so it's easier to count. Mm-hmm. What were we talking about before that?
Territory?
I think I was explaining to you how the game ends.
Oh, yes, because we were talking about Bubblegump and how I didn't know that I won, and then I think that's what you were talking to me. I told you I don't know when a game ends.
Okay. I still don't think I've answered that question. I've told you like after the game ends what happens and how the score is tallied up. But if you go on Reddit on our Paduk, it's like always like new players coming in, taking a picture of their game, and they're saying, "Who won this game?" And then the game isn't over. It's like a very common problem. I tried to explain to you this one time. You probably forgot. It's been a really long time. But I told you that the game isn't over because there are open doors, like open holes in our territory. So like I was telling you like, hey, imagine there's a hamster that lives inside of this area that's yours or mine. And if that hamster can walk around that open space and then find a hole to go into the other player's territory, then the game's not over yet. You need to block out all those holes and fence everything up and seal everything tight. Then it's over. And yeah, and then once that's happened, it's a little different in Asia. I think in Asia they just look at each other and they go, "It's over. You want to start counting?" And then they agree and then they go. Here in the US, they are more formal about the mechanics of like how it stops. Basically, I have to say, I don't want to play anymore. I pass, and then you pass. And then in AGA rules, everybody passes, and then there's some more complications for AGA rules. But once everybody passes, like, oh, no one's playing anymore, then you'd agree to start counting points.
What if like it's like someone doesn't know and like their opponent tells them like, oh, I pass, and then that person that doesn't know keeps playing?
That happens a lot, actually.
Oh, it does? Okay.
Yeah. So you might face a new player and you'll see that the game is over and you'll say, "Oh, I pass." And then the other player will be like, "Oh, okay, I'm going to invade over here." And then they play a stone and then you're like, "Okay, I know that's not going to live in there, so I pass." And then they just keep playing and playing and playing and playing and playing. And that sometimes it hurts them, sometimes it just doesn't do anything. And so it's just a matter of judgment. So you just have to know when to pass.
Remember that first tournament you went to in Santa Monica?
Mm-hmm.
And then they asked me if I wanted to play a game.
Mm-hmm.
And I said no.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because I was scared I wasn't going to know when to end the game.
Oh. I mean, depending on who you got paired with, the other player might have been like, I don't know, what would you have done if you were playing somebody and then the other player just passes all of a sudden? Would you keep playing? You would probably keep playing, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess if you just expressed that and said like, oh, I don't know how the game ends, then the tournament director might have been able to be like, oh, okay, just, I don't know. He might have said something to help you out with that. And depending on, because like the other player you got matched with might also have the same problem and they might struggle with that too.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm curious about the listeners. If anybody's played in a tournament at a very like weak DDK level, have you ever encountered like both of you not knowing how to end the game or something and things getting a little messy and you had to call in the tournament director? Okay, so speaking of that tournament, what was your impression? And like, was that what you were expecting?
I think so. I remember everyone was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was the first time I saw you playing with someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Or had I seen you play with
My friend?
your friend? Yeah.
I think you did see me play with my friend. But like, I guess this is the first time you've seen me play like against someone you don't know.
Like competitive environment, sort of,
mm-hmm.
right?
And you told me about like this man that was there who was talking to you while I was playing, right?
Oh, I think it was one of the main like people there.
Yeah, he was kind of one of the organizers.
Yeah, he told me you were good.
He told me that I was good.
Yeah, he's like, he's doing well.
I was doing well, and then I threw it all away horribly.
I remember I was trying to record your game. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
I tried, and then you were both moving too fast for me that I think I recorded maybe like the first few.
Yeah. That's something I definitely underestimated the difficulty of, because like I thought recording a game would just be like, oh yeah, just look at the coordinates and just match the coordinates. But I realized as a Go player, you have a lot of like pattern recognition, so you don't necessarily have to think so hard about every single stone. But for you, every stone placed must look just randomly placed. Mm-hmm. But for us, it's like, yeah, there's something called Joseki. Do you remember me mentioning Joseki at all?
I do.
You do? Do you
don't remember? I don't remember exactly what. I'm sure like once you tell me, it'll refresh my memory.
Do you have any guess on what it is?
I don't want to guess. I'll embarrass me.
Okay, so Joseki are just like patterns you play in the opening. And it's like mostly kind of almost memorized sequences, like because they're just the right sequences to play. And wait, why was I bringing up Joseki?
Because you were talking about, I think, like the difficulty with me recording your game.
Oh, yeah. So, for example, if we're playing a Joseki, a very common Joseki, one that people play all the time, then I don't have to think about it. I'm just like, oh yeah, I see. I might not even have to look at the players playing the Joseki out. I could just record the Joseki out right away because it's like I know they're just gonna play out the Joseki. But for you, you're just like, where does it go? And then they're just playing it quickly, huh? Yeah, I tried to get Kim to record my game while I played, but yes, that was a failure.
Well, not entirely. Uh-huh. I think I did a pretty good job starting, and then you told me that because I recorded that part, it helped you remember what kind of happened towards like the like later on through the game.
Yes.
You were able to go back and like record it on your own.
Yes, and it was funny because I remember, I think like, so it was definitely a good help to use your recorded game to jog my memory about what happened next. And then there was like a move or two where I noticed you recorded it wrong because like I know they didn't play there.
I think that's where it started going downhill though.
But yeah, I think you did better on like the third game. I think you were like closer up too, and you were like more focused, and you tried to like lock in.
I think the first game I recorded the first few moves, and then that's the one that helped you. Second one I gave up completely. I don't think I even tried to. But then the third one, I was actually.
Oh no! It's not the third one. It's actually you did the second one well, and then the third one I don't think you did anything. Do you remember the second one? No, the second one you were sitting like right next to me on the little bar area.
I thought I didn't record the second one. I thought I did the third one that was towards the entrance of the cafe.
Okay. I don't remember. And anyway, yeah, I tried to remember as much as I could, because the thing is like why your records were helpful was one of the things I actually struggle with remembering are the first 4 moves, because they're just so, the order of it is like kind of arbitrary because it's like corner, 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 and I always forget which corner was taken first and which corner. Well, I mean, usually I know which one was taken first, but after that, I wasn't sure. Do you remember the first time I ever mentioned Go to you, or like the first time you ever found out what it was?
Not really. I know we started playing chess, so I thought you were more interested in chess.
Yeah, because when I first met you, I was in like a little. I was taking a break from Go, and I was kind of in like a chess break, and so I was talking about chess a lot.
And we were playing games because I think we went to like store and we saw like a chess board, and I remember I mentioned it to you that I liked playing chess.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that was in Target, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
but I don't remember. I feel like you brought it up, like I don't know if it was. I don't know why I feel like you brought it up. Sort of like it kind of stemmed from like a chess conversation or something, or I don't know if it was that. I don't know. Like I can't. It's been so long ago. If it was through that, or if it was. No, I think you were already watching the. What's it called? The anime, the
Kara no Go?
Yeah, no, I think that came after.
Yeah, no, I was, because I got access to your Hulu, and that's how I started watching that.
I don't really.
Do you remember the first time you saw a Go board, like a picture of it or like a real one?
No.
Nope. Okay, what about, do you remember like your impression of what it was like when you first learned about it?
When I first learned about the game?
Yeah, when you first learned about what it was, like, what your first impression of it was, like what you thought it might be, and like how it looked to you. Did it look complicated?
Very complicated.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It still probably looked pretty complicated, huh?
Well, yes. I think it's like doesn't seem as scary anymore, like looking at it now, because I know like the very, 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 very basics. But back then it's like I knew nothing, and I just saw a board with a bunch of like black and white stones, and they were all forming some.
But it's not different. Like you see something like checkers and you think it's complicated, right?
No, and I'd never seen a Go board before, like in my life. At least when not that I can remember. Like I never had an idea like that game. And now it's like now when I go out to like shops now, I'm like actively like looking for it for you.
Whenever I see this might be TMI, but whenever I go to the urinal, sometimes there's a tile pattern in front of me, and all I can think of is a Go board while I'm doing my business.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's just I just see grids differently now.
Well, I see QR codes differently now ever since you told me they were sort of Go inspired.
Yep. Not many people know that. Everybody knows what a QR code is, but then nobody knows that the guy who invented it was got the idea from playing Go. What I'm curious about is, so you know the basic rules of the game and like kind of how to start the game. What do you think it like when people get better and they start playing on the big board? Do you know how big the big board is by any chance? Like how many lines? Take a guess. Take a guess. Yes, take a guess.
I can't.
How many lines do you think it is?
I don't know.
Well, it's a square. I'll give you that. It's a square. It's the same amount of lines both ways.
I really don't know though. I can't. I have no idea.
I think you can make a good guess.
No. Stop.
Okay, I'll give you another hint. The small one is 9x9. What's the big one?
18?
Oh, you're so close.
No?
It's 19. For some reason, Go boards are always odd numbers. The most common ones are 9x9, 13x13, and 19x19. 19x19 is the standard big board.
Okay.
Fun fact about that, it's because it's a theory, but 19 times 19 is 361, which I guess ancient Chinese people believed the Go board represented like the year and the 4 seasons with the 4 corners and 361 days in a year. I don't really know how the calendars worked back then, but it seems close enough, I guess, to 365. But I keep forgetting why I'm talking about. I get sidetracked. I was I was asking you a question. The question is, when people start playing on that board and you see like me, or for example, playing, what do you think we're doing while you see us play certain shapes and like certain moves?
I think you're trying to mark your territory on the board.
That's pretty accurate. But like, do you ever remember thinking like, oh, I would take that stone, or like I would do this, and then neither of us do that? How does that make you?
Yes.
How does that make you feel? And like, do you have any theories as to like what we're doing?
Well, I mean, it just makes me feel like I don't know how to play. It makes me feel like a beginner. Like I still don't know like what a lot of the other players do. And it's like for me, it's like I maybe sometimes I think like, oh, maybe they're not doing that because it's a very like obvious move or like. And I also always feel like when we play, obviously you're like so much better than I am. And it's like I'm only thinking about maybe like I'm trying to play against you, trying to think about not just the next move I'm making, but like 2 steps into like the future. Like, okay, after I do this, then this is my next move. And this, but I feel like you guys are all like thinking like 10 moves into like the game.
Or we're so beyond it that we are not even thinking about it at all. Because you might be trying to figure something out that's actually not worth figuring out. And that's like a common like trap for not only beginners, but advanced players, spending time on things that you shouldn't be spending time on because it just doesn't work or it's just not worth it. There's a lot of stuff in Go where both players are aware of like 20 moves ahead, what's happening. I mean, I'm not really like a 20 move reader. I can't read that far, or I don't do it during games. But even just a few moves, you both kind of see what's going to be played out, and then neither of you play anything. You just both understand that's the shape and that's the state of the board, and then you just kind of leave it, and it's like invisible. So that's why it can look really confusing. Because not everything, it's like thoughts that are not said. You know what I mean?
But like, how do you like let go of like your instinct to do that? Like,
what do you mean?
Like, for me, like just thinking about any game I play, not just Go. Like, I'm all like, I can get a little competitive. So I'm always trying to plan my next move, right? Like, even with chess, like I'll be moving one piece, but I'll be looking at another piece. Like, this is actually like my little hidden move that I have planned, trying to blindside you or something.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you not like...
Think of it this way. So I imagine like once you learn the rules as a beginner and you start playing the game, all you're going to do is really like look at your opponent's stone and you're like, oh, I'm going to capture this stone, right? That's like kind of like the instinct that you would have. Well, and then your opponent starts to play other things and you're just like, I don't know what they're doing, but I want to capture this stone. And then before you know it, you lose the game. So you're just kind of like, okay, well, how do I stop like plotting, right?
Yeah.
If you want a real world example, I would think of it as like you're trying to get rich, you're trying to make money, and let's say you have a friend who wants to also make money, and you guys are competing to be richer than the other. And so you go like, okay, how do I make money? Like, okay, the first thing I got to do, I got to go get a job. Okay, what job do I qualify for? I go get McDonald's, right? It's like, okay, I have a McDonald's job. I'm making minimum wage, but I still have more hours that I can make money with. Let me see if I can start a side business. Maybe I'll sell some candy or something. I can clip coupons. I can find the best deals. I can Uber and do all this stuff. And I'm trying to make so much money. Meanwhile, your friend is just kind of putting his money in stocks. And in the time that you did all that and spent so much effort, he's just chilling at home and his stocks compound and he gets all this money, all this return. And then at the end of the day, he's wealthy and you're just still kind of scrambling and just like doing all this stuff to try to get rich. And then like you lose out to your friend. I mean, obviously this is a very it's like not a good example in terms of like how actual life works, because the person who is scrambling to get Uber jobs and McDonald's is not the person who usually has the money to invest in stocks. But that's kind of how it feels like. Or maybe a better example is like trying to invest in education versus trying to do coupon clipping, right? Like coupon clipping will save you some money in the short term, very little by little. But investing in an education may help build like a career, and you may just flourish after that. So when you learn,
what if you do both?
You technically you have to do both because on the flip side, in Go, the same thing can happen to the rich guy who's investing in stocks. He can go to a car dealership. And the car dealership will just be like lie to him and say like, oh, this is a perfectly fine car and it's just terrible. And he sells to him for an exorbitant price. and he loses all his money to the car dealership because he had no street knowledge. He had no idea of how to negotiate. He didn't know anything about the coupon clipping culture. So in that way, you do need both. And that's what you kind of call strategy and tactics in Go. So you need to be able to fight and like get what you need in each local situation, but you also need to be able to plan ahead and think about the big picture. And so, yeah, mostly you're going to start thinking about the small stuff and trying to win those things. And then you'll realize you're losing games for some weird reason. And then you start realizing other people are like doing other things. And you're just like, I'm going to try to copy them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Kind of. Okay, one more question before we can go to break.
Okay.
What would make you want to play more Go? And you can be honest. And you can say, I would never play more Go. But if you can think of something that would convince you to play Go, whether it's like a friend or a different way to play, or it might just be like it has to be the right time of your life for you to play. Like, what do you think would make you play more Go as a person who's not super interested in Go, but like knows what it is?
I don't know. I think it's not that I don't enjoy playing it. Like, I do enjoy when we play together. And sometimes when you like ask me to do those, like those, what are those? The problems?
Sumego,
like
or life and death problems?
Like those are very interesting too when I try them out. But for some reason, like I never think to like do them on my own.
Mm-hmm. It's not really fun, right?
Well, I find them fun when like you're like watching me like trying to see if I can figure it out and
if it's like an activity we're doing together, almost, right?
Yeah, that's fun. I don't know what would, because there's like other games that I've picked up and I play on my own, like Scrabble, right? Like I love playing Scrabble on my own, like on the app.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe it's like, I guess it is like a timing thing, or maybe like if I watched or like read like the Hikaru.
Mm-hmm. Hikaru no Go.
So yeah, I think that might draw my attention more towards wanting to try it on my own.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do enjoy playing with you. I don't think we've had many opportunities lately to like play like board games much together, though.
I think a key ingredient that makes Go players come back to the game and keep playing the game and do those problems is their desire to be better at the game. And the thing is, like, I think when you play something like Scrabble, you play for fun, but I don't think you're like trying to be better at Scrabble, are you?
I think I went through a phase where I was. And I was trying to like play like difficult words. Like I was trying really hard.
Were you playing against like a computer or?
No, I think I actually played against people too.
So you were trying to like become a better Scrabble player? Were you doing other things besides playing Scrabble, like looking up words, play?
Yeah, after like, because sometimes I would try to play like words that I would like come up with, and like they're not like you can't play them. So then I would check out like the Scrabble, like isn't there like a Scrabble dictionary, I think, on like the website?
Yeah.
I'd like look it up. Like, like what are words that I don't know?
Okay, yeah, because that's pretty much similar to. The thing is, I don't think there's like a ranking system in Scrabble.
I don't.
Or if there is, I'm not aware of it. I know there's like professional tournaments and stuff, but I think the struggle with Go is that people who are beginners, they start on the bottom rung and they realize that they can't beat anybody. And that's just not fun. But
yeah, I agree.
but once you start playing and you get to like the second, third rung and you realize there are certain people who you can actually beat, it becomes addictive because you're like, oh, I know something and I didn't know it before. You have your hand up. What do you want to ask?
Well, like for me, like I can be very like shy. Even like online too, though. Like it's very hard for me to like go on a Go site and like play against a stranger, even if they can't see like my face or anything. Like it makes me nervous.
Yeah. So it's almost like you need people you're comfortable with to be playing Go in order for you to play Go.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the only person that you know right now that is able to play with you is like never going to lose to you.
Yeah. And it's like, I think that's why like I enjoyed playing like Scrabble with you because I knew that I stood a chance
you can
sometimes, and I could beat. I can win sometimes, or even chess. Like I'm not that great, but I felt more familiarized with the game itself. Like I knew like the rules and stuff, so I felt more confident than like Go, where like it's a game that you taught me.
Right. Because we played chess not too long ago, and I definitely made some mistakes that you took advantage of. Like I did not play a perfect game, even though I won.
I was a little rusty.
Yeah. But that like would almost never happen in Go. Maybe on the 9x9, I might slip up and like something might happen. But you would still, even for that to happen, you would still need a little more experience, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe.
And it's like it's like I know going into the game, it's a lot of the playing with you is going to be about you teaching me. And even if I get competitive, it's like I'll know if I win, I'll know it's because you let me.
Well, yeah. Or I give you handicap, but how do you feel about that? Like I offer handicap sometimes.
And sometimes I don't want to take it.
Yeah, you don't want to take it, but you also want to beat me, which is like, well, why don't you want to take handicap?
I don't know. It's like I'm not weak, even though I am.
Yeah. You are weak, so that's why you need to take handicap. I mean, we should try it sometime because I don't think I've ever played like a game with like the proper amount of handicap. Would be probably a lot of stones.
I think it would be. I would feel even more embarrassed if I lost and you gave me like a lot of like handicap stones. That's why I'd rather not.
Interesting.
I'd rather you don't give me any like.
But wouldn't it feel good if I gave you handicap stones and you beat me fair and square, even though I was struggling and I was trying?
Yes, but I don't want to run the risk of.
Oh man, you gotta. Okay, so that's the thing. You gotta get over the fear of losing. Yeah, you need to. Well, I don't know. I think it's really difficult to defeat somebody who's been playing for years and years when you've played like fewer games than you can count on your fingers.
Full games?
Yeah, full games. Like you've played the computer a few times, I think.
Yes. I have.
Yeah. Okay. We should play again sometime and then update the listeners on what you've learned. Okay,
I also don't know if I would like I feel like a lot of the learning about the game is not just, at least from you, like from watching you learn how like the game. A lot of it isn't just playing, but it's also like picking up a book and reading about it. And it's like, I don't think I would be able to pick up a book and read about the game.
You don't need to. You definitely don't need to do that to get to like to improve at all. Like in the beginning, actually, I would recommend most people don't look at books. Books are really like, oh, I love Go so much and I really, really want to improve and I'm going to buy a book to like study it and get to Dawn level and everything. But if you just play, you'll get pretty good pretty quick. Like not like great, not like amazing. You're not going to be winning tournaments, but you'll basically be able to stomp like your brother, right? Like he won't stand a chance against you, right? Okay, well, I was going to ask you one more thing. The would it be appealing to you if we just sat at a Go board and we didn't think of it as a competition and we just play because the patterns are pretty? And then I tell you, oh, you can go over there. That's a nice place to go. And then you just kind of no, you don't want to do that.
But maybe this is off topic, but I remember there was another game that you can play on a Go board.
Komoku.
Is that
the
that's
one
where it's like the little, like squared, or I don't remember what.
Oh, you're talking about Blockus.
Is it Blockus?
Wait, are you talking about? Does it have colors?
No.
I don't know what squares you're talking about. Oh, you're talking about Reversey. Like Othello?
Huh?
Othello or Reversey?
No. We played it before on the 9x9, I think. And I remember I thought it was really fun.
We played it on the 9x9? Was it 5 in a row?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Komoku. What about that?
Oh, that was fun.
Oh, man. All right. Well, 94 episodes in, and we finally got the infamous Fiancée. Just kidding. You're not infamous. On the show. Really happy that you are able to do this today with me. I think that everyone listening will be very excited to hear you talk about Go because I've mentioned you many times throughout the show. I think, what episodes have you listened up to? This is going to be shameful for you, but what? I think you're at like 40 something, no?
I haven't yet listened to the one where you told me you announced that I was your fiance.
Which was a while ago.
A long time ago.
Yeah, but don't worry.
But I was on a roll for a while. Like I was listening to it.
I will give you some credit because I think a lot of content creators out there, their partners don't watch anything or listen to anything they do. So I'll give you credit there.
I was like on track though. Like I was keeping up with your episodes and then I missed like 1 week and then they all started like piling.
It's funny how I can record episodes faster than you can listen to them.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, it's time. Well, let's get into the DDK Advice Corner. You know what that is, right? Do you know what a DDK is?
No.
It stands for double digit Q. And you know what Q and Dawn is, right?
Yes.
The Q is the weaker levels, which is I'm like at the cusp of trying to get to Dawn. Double digit Q is like your number. You know how the 1 Q is the strongest Q, right? Double digit Q just means like you're 10 Q or above or below. That's why it always gets confusing.
Wait. Double digit means you're 10 or below?
Yeah, so like the weaker Qs.
Oh, like me.
Yeah, you're a double digit Q. You're actually a You're actually a TPK.
What's that?
A 20 plus Q.
Oh, yes. Me.
But this is the DDK advice corner.
I do not think I'm like the lowest either, though.
Maybe you're like 29Q or 28Q.
Or 20.
Yeah, maybe 28Q.
Yeah. I find that very interesting also how you...
The ranking?
The ranking, yes.
Yeah. I think it is interesting. I think most people like it. In chess, it's like your ELO. It's like you're like, oh, I'm 970 ELO. Which is not very good. But better than like... Yeah. Anyway, it's time for the DDK advice corner, and the tip of the day is count the lines between stones. So this is like, and you should pay attention. This is like in the opening. It's like a lot of players, they like to play in one area a lot, and they play like in narrow spaces. Usually, unless there's a good reason, you don't want to do that. You want to look at the board and see like the open spaces, and if there's like a couple open spaces, count the lines between the stones and see like, oh, this one, between this stone and that stone, there's like 16 lines. And then between this stone and that stone, there are only like 8 lines. So the better place to play is where there's more lines between stones, like more open space. It's not like a hard and fast rule. There's always going to be exceptions, but you could say that it's a good guideline. See what I did there?
Nice.
And now it's time for listener mail. Carby writes, hey, congratulations with Tudon and marriage. Look, you're addressing us.
Thank you.
For the previous podcast question, I feel like you get answers mostly from really strong players, so I thought that I will contribute as DDK/fake SDK. Maybe someone on the weaker side of listeners will relate to it. Okay, that's actually an interesting take, so let's hear what you got to say. I think this is in response to the Questions for Dawn Players episode. I did rank up on OGS from 13Q to 10Q after a long time of stagnation and thought that I started to understand something to knock on SDK doors. So you can surmise what SDK stands for? No? Well, DDK stands for double digit Q.
Single digit?
Right. So that's what I am. I'm a SDK. You guys can't see, but she patted herself on the back, just to let you know. Even won some games against SDKs. I think that once you beat a couple of SDKs, you can call yourself an SDK. I played a lot, did timed 30-second Sumego every day, got reviews from stronger players on some of my games, self-reviewed with AI, read some books on the side, and watched some videos. Felt really good until I got a huge losing streak and dropped back to 12Q. It feels pretty bad to stagnate even when putting so much time and dedication. Feels like I'm getting worse instead of improving. Before I continue, I do want to point out that sometimes when you improve, you get worse first. Because it's like you're rewiring, and once you've rewired, you have to get used to the new rewiring, so you might rank down for a bit. And I think that can happen with like other things in life too. For the Fox rank though, I ranked up from 11Q to 7Q recently and have a few games until we'll get promoted to 6Q. But I consider myself an imposter/fake SDK as for now. I feel like I can't call myself SDK if I can't break out of DDK on OGS. As for now, I will sum up games from both servers. It will be around 1,000 19x19 games in 1.5 years of playing Go. That's a lot of games. That's like...
What?
That's a lot of games, huh?
Yes, that's a lot.
That's more than 3 games a day. That's crazy. I think you're on a track for improvement if you're playing that much, and I think a lot of Go players have this imposter syndrome, and whenever they get a rank, they don't really say that they're that rank because they can lose the rank just as easily as they got it. And so once you reach like 5Q, for example, you might say, oh, I'm a 7Q. Because like I just got to 5Q, so like I don't know, right? I think that happens a lot. So, I mean, it's everyone's comfort level, but all the ranks are kind of meaningless anyway. So in result, I think I can tell that everything I do right now for improvement is not working. Well, it does partly, but not at the speed I would like, considering the amount of time spent. I came to the conclusion and accepted that talent exists for this kind of game. And by talent, I mean the ability to learn, retain, and apply things that you learn, and the speed of improvement. Basically, intelligence. That's a good debate topic that I think a lot of people will have opinions on. So if you have thoughts on that statement, I'd love to know. I think my problem is that things that I learn don't stick, and I forget them without realizing, and in result, fail to apply things I learned to my games. Or maybe I think that I understood some theory from the book, but I actually didn't. I don't know at this point. Same goes for reviews from stronger players in Kata-Go. I'm not even sure if they are useful, but I'll keep getting them. Another reason may be that, as you mentioned, I consume too much in one sitting. Maybe I need to slow down and do some spaced repetition. I've been trying it lately. Thank you again for the podcast. They are really cozy to listen to, and there are always things that I can relate to. Thank you so much for writing in and for your kind words and the congratulations. We both appreciate it, Carby. I want to just give you one key point of advice here. From what you've told me, I think the thing that might help you the most is incorporating, as you have said that you started, repetition into your practice. If you read something through and then you just go start playing games, it's going to be very difficult to retain knowledge. Everything you learn, focus on like one thing. Don't like try to learn a chapter of something in one day. Take one pattern and then make sure you nail that pattern. Like if it's a pattern you're learning, like a joseki or a problem, right? Even if it's sumego, like do a small amount and then do the same thing the next day. And I learned this from like how I learn music. Like music, you gotta repeat things, you gotta practice, you gotta do the same thing over and over and over again. And I think some of that applies to Go as well. You have any advice from down below?
No, I agree with everything you said. Just because I feel like that's how I am when I study for something. Mm-hmm. If I just read if I read the whole chapter, at the end, I'm kind of like, what in the world did I just read? How do I even apply it or answer these questions that I'm being asked about what I just read?
Yeah.
Whereas if I take it piece by piece and I try to actually learn and understand what it is at a slower pace, I feel like I'm able to retain the information that I'm learning.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of the same thing in school. It's like you take a whole class for a semester, and then if you expect to just go into the final exam and then just do well because you took the class, that's not true, because you have to study. You have to go back and review the material and drill it into your brain and do all the stuff. Anyway, thanks again for writing in. Simon Guaxum says, it's great for the improvement and the new marriage. I'm going to interpret that as a congratulatory comment, so thank you so much. Tyrone Van Bakel writes, saw the title, want to say grats, now back to episode 20, smiley face. Thank you so much, all these congratulations, and thanks for jumping up to episode 94 to say congrats, and then you're probably not going to you're going to be surprised when you listen to episode 94, because you're going to see that you've commented into the listener mail and you forgot that you did, because it's going to take a while to get there. Anyway, thanks. Sadaharu writes, congrats on the rank up. Keep it up and try to make it last for more than 20 games. I'm not sure when's the last time I ranked up, lol. I'm even ranking down on OGS recently due to the lost games. I should probably get back to playing more live games to get my rank back again. By the way, how come your videos... Alright, so there was a problem that Sadaharu commented about my YouTube videos disappearing sometimes and then comes back out. I don't know why, but it's like the YouTube videos, they ingest from my RSS feed, and sometimes they set it to private, and then I wake up and I look at the video and I'm like, why is it private? And I have to set it to public again. But anyway, I wanted to make a comment about Sadaharu not being sure when the last time he ranked up. He's a really strong player, and once you get stronger, it's it gets more and more impossible to rank up, and it's harder and harder. So that's why
I remember you telling me, I think you were like stuck at a rank for a while, weren't you?
I was like at like certain ranks for a long time.
Yeah.
And so for you, if you start playing, you're gonna rank up like pretty quickly for a while, and then you might get stuck. Okay. Well, this is the I forgot to mention it in the beginning, but this is the season 2 finale episode of Starpoint. 94 episodes, 2 seasons. Didn't think I would get this far. Just a reminder, I will be back with more Starpoint in 8 weeks' time. That is going to be September. When is 8 weeks from now?
September 1st?
No. September 15th. Season 3, September 15th. So for the 8 weeks, I hope you guys enjoy a lot of Go. And I want to know, for the question of the summer, instead of the question of the week, what are you going to do this summer? It doesn't have to be Go related, but if you want to talk about the Go related things, what are you going to do for the summer? Do you have any plans to go into tournaments, attend clubs, just play games online? Do you have any goals? Let me know, and I will read your answers on episode 1 of season 3, or actually probably episode 2, depending on how much stuff there is to read. But if you want to share your thoughts on that question, or if you have a Go story to share, or have a question of your own, leave a comment wherever you found this episode, or email me directly at starpointpaduk@gmail.com. That's starpointbaduk@gmail.com. If you're a YouTube listener, I would greatly appreciate a like and a subscribe. And if you're a podcast listener, reviews and ratings also help. A very special thank you to James B., Tristan, and Jeff H. for supporting Starpoint. If you want to support the show in any capacity, you can go to ko-fi.com/starpointpaduk, that's ko-fi, or check out the Starpoint store at store.starpointpaduk.com. And if you hadn't heard since the last 2 episodes, you can join the Discord. People have been trickling in, like all these Go nomads go from Discord to Discord, and they go in this group, and they just kind of, I didn't expect this many people to come in all at once, to be honest. I call them Go-mads. But yeah, join the Discord, talk about Go, and I know nothing about managing a Discord, so if anybody wants to give me any tips, or you see something that could use improving, don't hesitate to let me know. And for the final joke of season 2, I thought I would choose something that you might understand. Why can't Go players do many push-ups?
Why?
Because they skip chest day.
Oh.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Keep playing Go. Have a good summer.
Bye. Have a good summer.